Push up
Okay.
to YouTube. Make it big.
Yeah. Start play music.
Can't.
You play music.
Yeah. It did. It's set.
We have played through the monitors.
Are holy, yes, you are holy. We praise the power of God. Power of God. You are worthy, yes, you are worthy. We praise the power of God. Power of God. It's power in the name of the higher. It's healing in the name of the higher. It's peace in the name of the higher. We praise the power of God. The power of God.
I release the energy of all my praise to thee. From the depths of my soul, I long to worship thee. Into the days of higher, you sit on the highest throne. No one can never take his place, it's the most high throne. The victory banner is raised in the heavens, it covers the earth with the blood of the Shire. Deliverance, peace, salvation. In the palm of your hands, you maintain the power of creation. You created male, female, we fail. The dedication of your love saves us from hell. Blessings and glory, wisdom, honor, power and might belong to the Most High forever.
For you are holy, yes, you are holy. We praise the power of God. Power of God. You are worthy, yes, you are worthy. We praise the power of God. Power of God. It's power in the name of the higher. It's healing in the name of the higher. It's peace in the name of the higher. We praise the power of God. The power of God.
The Most High sit upon the throne of His holiness. The heavens should declare His righteousness. You are the King of glory, the Most High, strong and mighty. No other God has the power to claim the worship Thee. All the other gods are idols, fallen angels, worthless titles. Most High, Thy name will endure forever. From the heavens to the earth, You ride the wings of everlasting grace. To the east, we turn our face. You forgive our iniquities, heal our diseases, crown us with love and kindness. You deliver us from wickedness. Oh, tell them, You are holiness.
Lord, you are holy. Yes, you are holy. We praise the power of God. Power of God. You are worthy. Yes, you are worthy. We praise the power of God. Power of God. It's power in the name of the higher. It's healing in the name of the higher. It's peace in the name of the higher. We praise the power of God. The power of God.
Psalms 97, verse 9. Read, for Thou Most High art high above all the earth. Thou art exalted far above all gods. He that loves the Most High hates evil. He preserveth the souls of His saints. He delivered them out of the hand of the wicked. Light is shown for the righteous and gladness for the upright in heart. Rejoice in the Most High, you righteous, and give thanks at the remembrance of His holiness.
Blessed good day to each and every one, right? We want to give all praises to Ahaya, Asha Ahaya, Bahashem Eshara Wakwadash. That's the name of the Most High. I am that I am in English, Yeshaya, the true name of Christ. Kwadash, Holy Spirit, right? So We must exalt him. We must proclaim his name throughout the earth. Right? We are the Garden of Christ Church, Trinidad and Tobago. We will be doing a discussion today based on what causes the lack of love in our communities. What causes the lack of love in our communities? Right? So everybody say, we need love. It don't have no love. But something behind the scenes is working that we may be ignorant or not aware that what causes lacking of love in our communities. Right? So again, with no further ado, my name is Raka Malakama. That's Hebrew. Right? At my side is Brother Kwam. We will be having a discussion today. And for those who tuning in, please touch the like button to send this frequency out to all those who may be subscribed. Right? Please push the like button. Again, so we'll be having a topic again. Why do we lack love in our communities? Is it religion? Is it the religious establishments that are doing a good job? Is it the media? Something happening that perpetuating this immorality in our society. Something is happening behind the scenes, and I think that through the Spirit of the Most High, we should be aware of what causing this, right? Because everybody say, you need to love, you need to love, right? You need to love, right? So, what kind of love is speaking about? The homosexual, they love one another. Is that the love are we talking about? There are people who lay down with animals. Is that the love we are talking about? There are people who establish their own righteousness, but yet still in the morning they will do something that you can't come to understanding why they did that. So what is love? What causing the so-called crime in the communities? What causing our children to go off? So, brothers and sisters, we will go into a few things today. Again, please push the like button. Those who coming in, please push the like button. Please send it to the WhatsApp, send it to your Facebook. Let them know that we are on. Right? So again, the topic for today, the conversation for today is why? Why do we lack love in our communities? Why? Brother Kwam?
Again, good evening. Shalom to each and everyone locked in on YouTube, on our YouTube page, Gathering of Christ Church Trinidad. A real interesting topic for discussion. I mean, when we was deciding on it, when you brought it forward as the topic, I was like, yeah, it's much needed. Because when we look at what's going on in the country today, when we watch the news, the headlines at the front page of the different newspapers that we have here in Trinidad, it's evident that we lack love. And I know we're going in on it and we're going to touch on it, but when you really check what it is, it all boils back down to the law. And within talking to people, you ask them, why it has so much of crime? Why we can't come together, boy? Why we can't live as one? And they would give you examples. They would give you their suggestions. You understand, man? But the fact still remains. And you notice I saying the fact. The fact still remains that it all boils back down to the law that was given to our forefathers in the wilderness. Because some of them, they don't know that they are pulling the law, because they'll tell you, well, do the right thing. What is the right thing? What is the standard?
Yeah, what is the code? What
You
is
understand,
the
man?
standard?
And this is what they don't understand, that at the end of the day, the law, as the scripture said, the law is perfect. The law is perfect. So, I can't wait to get into it, Officer. I can't. Because it's a topic that is... It's needed and it's dear to me, because I'll tell you this. I went to a function last night.
Right.
And celebrating 60 years. And I'm seeing that they're recognizing the forefathers, those who laid the foundation for us. And we had one youth to collect an award. And I went to inquire why the youth name not on it. And the answer I got was distasteful. And I said, wow, how do you expect to lay the foundation and get 60 years in? You understand? 60 years in. We're not acknowledging those who are carrying the mantle, the next generation. You understand me? We're not bridging that gap. And this is something, I looked at it and I say, wow, it's evident. No, we can't come together and bridge that gap between those that were here before us, meaning our grandmother, our great grandmother, because some of us don't get along with some of our elders. No, because they don't understand. You understand me? So they think it's just their way. Where's the love? You understand me? Why we don't have that love in the community? Why you can't pass the torch on to me and say, hey, I am proud to do this. I'm proud to recognize that these are the people going to carry me another 60 years. You know, and I give all praises for the Most High for me to experience that last night, because it just shows how we as a people have nothing but this Bible, this law to hold to. And we have to proclaim it, and we're going to proclaim it. You understand me? Until Christ come, or until the last breath that we have in our bodies.
Well said, Brother Kwam, right? Because, you know, it's been difficult that, you know, the Most High has awakened us up, and we have to be very patient with elders, with young men, because the words say that wisdom of this world is foolishness compared to the Most High, to his understanding, to his wisdom. And there's all sorts of great knowledge out there. You know what I mean? Brothers will break down history for you based upon, you know, what happened in Africa, what happened in England, how we rule, things of that nature, all sorts of understanding. And these brothers are very eloquent with their speech. And this is what has catch people, right? Very eloquent, you know, well spoken. And you ask them simple questions, simple, basic questions. So, okay, how are we going to move from this point to the next point? And there's always come back and say the same thing what we are having a discussion about today. Where you know we need to love one another. We need to appreciate each other. You know, we need to go back Africa. Listen, most of our people talking this talk right now. And listen, it's a spirit that the Most High waking up our people in. But it's for them to really draw near to him. Right? People want to draw near to the Most High based on how they feel unto to their likeness. But the scripture says that, right, there's a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof is destruction. So the Most High show us how to love. He gave us civil laws, how for us to operate as a nation. He gave us dietary laws to show us what should we eat, so we wouldn't get these different sort of diseases that, you know, this great epidemic with cancer and diabetes is based upon breaking the dietary laws, right? The ceremonial laws, which is actually for us. So we don't need to follow Christmas. We don't need to follow all these things that they gave to us. The Most High actually gave us the laws from the scriptures to guide us through, right? Through the ceremonial laws. Listen, we got Passover, we got tabernacles, we got Purim. Listen, we got so much feast days to celebrate and reverence the Most High. And listen, let me tell you, as in earth, so shall it be in the heaven. As in heaven, so shall it be in the earth. So what does be going on at the same time when we actually keeping these feast days in the heavens is keeping the feast days too. That's why the Satanists told you that these feast days don't matter, right? Which the Bible says to keep forever. Look, right now we go into a high satanic time with Halloween. You cannot tell me there ain't some evil entity and a good entity in this world. You understand what I'm saying?
True.
So it's very evident that something lacking. And one more law that I didn't mention, but I left for last, is the moral laws. So the moral laws, the 10 Commandments, and other things that consist within the 10 Commandments, right? First, everybody want to say in the Christian church, thou shalt love thy neighbor as you love thyself, right? But hear what I'm saying. If it is that you don't understand the 10 Commandments, you cannot love thy neighbor as you love thyself. And this is the problem that we're dealing with. Can I get the book of Matthew chapter 22, verse 35? And we will break this down briefly before we go into something, right?
Matthew 22
Yes, the book of Matthew 22, verse 35. So
and
what
verse
they
35.
say is that Christ come and nail the laws to the cross, right? And we're not under those laws anymore. We're under the blood of Jesus, what they call him. They don't know his name, right? And that's what they teach us, right? So even the mainstream religions of this world ain't set up the proper order according to love, according to the Most High, right? So this is the scripture they go into, right? Read.
Matthew 22 and verse 35.
Uh-huh.
Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him and said, Master, which is the great commandment in the law?
Uh-huh.
Yeshua said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy power with all thy heart.
With all thy what?
With all thy heart.
So if you love the Most High power with all your heart, continue reading it.
With all thy heart
Mm-hmm.
and with all thy soul.
And with what?
And with all thy soul.
If you love the Most High with all your heart and with all your soul, you'll keep his Sabbath. If you love the Most High with all your heart and all your soul, you will do everything he says to do. The Most High is not like a man. Wouldn't set order and laws and then send his son to die to say that it's done away with. It just makes no sense. For those who don't know, the sacrificial law is what done away with, which consists of approximately 200 and something laws that the Levite priests used to do, with different ordinances for sin and washing and things of that nature for the feast days also. So there were certain things that were added to keeping the feast days and to sin. These are the laws that is done away with, because Christ is our high priest. If you love Christ, if you love Christ, and listen, we will go into Christ, because Christ never come to destroy the law, right? But if you love the Most High with all your heart and all your soul, and you're reading the scripture, you will see that Christ do healing on the Sabbath day. You will see that Christ kept the feast days. You will see, matter of fact, that the apostles received the Holy Spirit on the feast of Pentecost, or first fruits. You will see these things. It didn't done away with. That's how we connect to the heavens. If you love him, you will do what he says to do. You won't make an excuse because Satan set up his kingdom for you to break his Sabbath and set up his holidays for you to follow. That's his holidays, his feast days. The Satan, this mimic or replica of the Most High. That's what we need to understand. Because the Bible says in the book of Isaiah, I will be like the Most High. So, how Satan will be like the Most High? He will be reverenced and he will be worshipped. Read.
Continuing the rest of verse 37.
Uh-huh.
And with all thy mind.
Uh-huh.
Verse 38.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew 22 and verse 38.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first and great commandment.
Uh-huh.
And the second is like unto it.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt love thy neighbor. Thou shalt love thy neighbor
Uh-huh.
as thyself.
So thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, right? So let's go into the book of Exodus, chapter 20. Let's start from the moral laws. Matter of fact, let's read the whole 10 Commandments, right? Let's read it. I know people will tune into this, the Christian folks, you all brothers and sisters, we need to, we need to come off of this so-called pagan ideology that been taught us by the Gentiles. Okay? Read.
Gone. The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
And the Most High spoke all these words, saying, I am the Most High, thy power,
Mm-hmm.
which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt,
Mm-hmm.
out of the house of bondage.
And
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
so the first commandment is thou shalt have no other gods before me. So if you are following the Most High, you need to understand that the practices, the rituals, your so-called holidays, because it's Satan holy days, right, are gods attached to it. So when you follow Christmas, when you go back into history, you will understand it is linked to a god called Tammuz and Nimrod. When you celebrate Christmas, trying to sanctify and trying to worship, the Bible says, thou shalt have no other gods before me. So we got to be careful as a people, as a nation, the things that we do and what we participate in. Read.
Continuing. Verse 4.
Uh-huh.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image
Mhm.
or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above
Mhm.
or that is in the earth beneath.
So you shouldn't make no graven image. So you see the European Christ with the perm in the Roman Catholic Church on the wall. The Most High said, don't do that. So it's very easy to follow the Most High, brothers and sisters. For instance, in Islam, they bow down to a stone in Mecca. To be a real Muslim, right, you will go and keep pilgrimage and bow down to that ovary-looking shaped stone and kiss it and bow down to it and honor it. Their emblem is a moon and a star. Satan know how it is. We don't need to talk about Hinduism, right? We don't need to talk about that. They don't know who they follow, right? But it works for them. And that's the next thing. The Arabians, they succeed in Islam. The East Indians, they succeed in Islam. The indigenous people, not our people, because our people are not Africans. We are not the indigenous people of Africa, right? Because they don't acknowledge us as their people. History, science prove we are not the same people, okay? Those people who deal with their witchcraft and all their sorts of, sacrifice, blood washing and all kind of madness by the river thing, they just prosper. But our people, we do not prosper when we follow other gods, because the Most High made a covenant with our forefathers and with us that we must keep his commandments and have no other gods. So the Gentiles could do what they want. So-called black man, black woman, so-called First Peoples, North American Indians, they could do what they the other race people could do what they want, but not you, Israelites. You cannot do what they want. And that's why it have this big agenda with the whole apologetic movement only talking about Hebrews. Everything now these people talking about Hebrews. They wasn't talking about all the wickedness was going on in the Roman Catholic Church. They wasn't talking about Halloween is a wicked, satanic time of sacrificing to devils. But as the truth started to come out, everybody coming against the Hebrews. And it's a whole sensationalized theology and a whole sensationalism going on through the media against the Hebrews. But listen, we follow in the Bible. We're not following Christmas. You can prove Christmas to me in the Bible, but you can follow Passover. So I'm just trying to say that these are the things that we went off by. But continue, because listen, this is for those out there who may be tuning in for the first time, again, that if you cannot keep these commandments, you cannot love thy neighbor as you love thyself. It don't exist, right? Read it, bro.
Start over again.
Hear what? Let's jump straight down. Let's jump straight down to verse 12. Let's get straight down to the love thy neighbor as you love thyself, because within the 10 commandments, 5 is to reverence the Most High, and the other 5 is really for us, how we must love thy neighbor as you love thyself. And if it is you can't keep this law, you will love your neighbor as you love thyself. And this is the error in mainstream religion. Read it, brother.
The book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse 12.
Uh-huh.
Honor thy father and thy mother.
So is that law done away with? So that's what they teach. So no wonder why children are disrespecting their parents. Read.
That thy days may be long upon the land,
Uh-huh.
which the Lord thy power giveth thee.
So listen, the Most High promised long life to any child if you keep this commandment, right? Now think about it. Is this law done away with? Is this law done away with? This theology that's being taught is part of why it is they're lacking love in this world, because Christianity is the biggest religion on the face of the earth. Billions and thousands of people in different countries and islands believe in Jesus Christ. Read.
Verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt not kill.
Uh-huh.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Read.
Thou shalt not steal.
Thou shalt not what?
Thou shalt not steal.
So the pastor's robbing the people also. That's why they don't teach this. We're supposed to teach this commandment. This commandment should be in our mind, in our spirit. Listen, the book of Hebrews said it, and we will go into it. Right? We will go into it. Right? You cannot say the laws of the Most High is done away with. That's wrong. That's incorrect. That's wickedness. Right? Read.
Verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
Uh-huh.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife,
Mm-hmm.
nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
So what the Most High is showing you, thou shalt not covet, be content with what you have. Because you will watch what belongs to someone, you will want it for yourself. You will covet, you will kill, you will steal, you will do anything to get it. Is this done away with? Now listen, let's get the book of Hebrews chapter 8 verse 8. Let's use Paul the apostle, right? Let's establish this and we'll go forward. Right? Straight off for the spirit, right? Let's teach this. Right? Because I don't know what's going on with the apologetic movement, the Christian movement. I don't know what's going on. We're taking back our records. We're taking back our identity, which the Most High prophesied will happen to us. And everybody's talking against the Hebrews. They even slander in the Garden of Christ Church name also. You understand? But what are we bringing forth? Read.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 8 and verse 8.
Uh-huh.
For finding fault with them, he said,
Uh-huh.
Behold, the days cometh, said the Most High,
Uh-huh.
when I will make a new covenant.
A what?
When I would make a new covenant.
A new arrangement. Read.
When I will make a new covenant
Mm-hmm.
with the house of Israel.
With the who?
With the house of Israel.
With the whole world.
With the house of Israel.
We all one people.
With the house of Israel.
Right. Read.
And with the house of Judah.
Now this is Paul the apostle. Read. With Israel and Judah. So when it said Israel and Judah, it means the northern tribe and the southern tribe. Judah is the southern tribe. Israel is the southern tribe. So whenever you hear Judah and Israel, is the two tribes. When you hear the children of Israel, it's everybody. Read.
Continuing at verse 9.
Uh-huh.
Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers.
So the Most High made a covenant with our fathers, but he renewed his covenant because we didn't kept his covenant. Read.
In the days when I took them by the hand
Uh-huh.
to lead them out of the land of Egypt,
Uh-huh.
because they continue not in my covenant.
So they break the covenant. Right? Read.
And I regarded them not, said the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
For this is the covenant that I will make with thy house
Uh-huh.
of Israel after those days,
Mm-hmm.
said the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
I will put my laws.
You what?
I will put my laws.
He will put Jesus in the heart.
I will put my laws
Uh-huh.
into their mind.
He will put the laws into our minds. This is Paul the apostle here speaking to the Hebrews. The Paul apostle who you all love and claim you follow. Misunderstand Paul's writings. The book of Peter says that they misunderstand his writing, that goes to their damnation. We will talk on that another time. Read.
And I will put my laws into their minds.
So he will put the laws into our minds. Read.
And write them in their hearts.
And do what?
And write them in their hearts.
It's never done away with. It's never done away with. The Most High promised his people, by disobedience, I will let you serve the other nations. You shall go into slavery. We always went through slavery as a people. Always went through slavery. Throughout history, the Israelites always went through slavery. When we went into slavery for 1,000 years, because before the transatlantic was the Saharan slave trade, the Arabians was enslaved on us, and that's in the book of, also to correlate to that, that's also in the book of Psalms 83, where these two nations predominantly, Ishmael and Edom, took us down. So the Ishmaelites was enslaved on us. We were forced into Islam when we was in West Africa. And that's why we came across saying cargo ships, because we believe that Allah was our God. And Allah was a false God. It was a moon God. It was a rock God. Do your research. So listen, is the laws done away with? Why do we lack love in our communities? Because they're not teaching us commandments. It's very simple. But yet still, there's an evil power behind the scene operating. And I'm going to go into that, right? There is something behind the scenes. So yes, through disobedience, and the children of Israel have been the representation, the light of this world, as a nation to govern and to rule. Because we sin and fell into captivity, the Gentiles rule in the earth right now. They control the media, they control everything. They control the food you eat, they control everything. That's why this world's so crazy and mad. They also control your religious theology, your Christian theology. It was set up by them. That's why you go before an average Christian or a teacher or a man who went and studied, you understand, and get a certificate. He cannot stand up to the Hebrews with the Bible because he was indoctrinated with a false doctrine. So people are leaving the Christian churches now, and the Gentiles is not making money as they was making before. So that's the real issue behind the scenes. That's why Hebrews are being demonized. Now I'm telling you, there are really some Hebrews who conduct themselves in a very bad manner. But you won't find that in the Garden of Christ Church. You won't find that. Right? So, Brother Kwam?
And you made some interesting pointers there. You brought out some real interesting ones. And the thing is this, it's so evident in the word. I don't need to add or say anything, you know. As we say, as it says in Psalms 40, we come out of the volume of the book. You understand me? So what we have to say is, what the word say, we are not bringing anything new. It is there because our people believe in the Bible until you start to show them. Until you open the book and you start to show them. Ever heard about the book of Nehemiah?
Yeah.
Zephaniah? Who? You ever hear about the book of Jude? You know, and then now they start to realize they are not being taught the word of God. Because I want to go to the book of John 14 and verse 21, and it says, he that had my commandments.
He that what?
He that had my commandments and keepeth them. He is it that I love.
Wait now. That writing in red there?
Yes, sir.
Like Christ?
Yes, sir.
Read.
I'll start again. The book of St. John, chapter 14 and verse 21. He that had my commandments and keep them, he it is that loveth me.
So when you say you love Christ or you love Jesus, hear what he's saying here?
He that, I'll start again from the top. The book of St. John, chapter 14 and verse 21. He that had my commandments and keepeth them, he it is that loveth me.
So he it is that loveth him, read.
And he that loveth me shall be loved of my Father.
So you see, and listen, lower down shows that they receive the Holy Spirit. That's it, right?
I'm going to finish it off.
Okay.
And I will love them and will manifest myself to him.
He will do what?
And I will manifest myself to him.
So if your pastor is teaching, and let's get 1 John chapter 2 verse 3. If your pastor is teaching the laws done away with, who your pastor been talking to when he started shaking, he started sweating, he started cast out demon? Is it a demon behind a pastor? Playing games? Acting? A whole show going down in the spiritual realm? And you shaking and kill you dead. This emotional thing going on with you and kill you dead. You delivered? Or you believe a demon get cast out? Now think about it. He say, then shall I manifest myself unto him. And then he shall be known of my Father. That's Christ's words. Now let's drop one more.
The book of 1 John, chapter 2 and verse 3. And hereby we do know that we know him.
So this is how you know that you know him. I know Christ. He came in a dream and saw him. Yeah, I know God. Me and God does talk. You ever talk to God? Well, God does talk to me, you know. So here are the questions he's asked them. Read.
I'll start again from the top.
Uh-huh.
The book of 1 John chapter 2 and verse 3. And hereby we do know that we know him,
Uh-huh.
if we keep his commandments.
If you do what?
If we keep his commandments.
So this is how you know if you know him, you keep his commandments. Read.
Verse 4.
Uh-huh.
He that said, I know it him,
Uh-huh.
and keepeth not his
Uh-huh.
commandments,
Mhm.
is a liar.
Is a who?
Is a liar.
Listen, we didn't say it. So you understand why now mainstream theology, serpent, wicked devils coming against us? Because we teach this. Man, listen. Let me get the book of St. John, chapter 17, verse 14. Let me keep it there for a moment, right? Why they hate us? Why do we lack love in our communities? It was up to the Christian establishment to do it. Been taking all the people money, been lying, having our children following Halloween, wickedness, have our children following Christmas, wickedness, have our children following Easter, but deny the feast days of the word. They are held accountable to it. And listen, not my words, I could drop it out of Christ's words, but let's get that. Read it.
Chapter and verse again.
St. John chapter 17, verse 14.
The book of St. John chapter 17 and verse 14.
Read.
I have given them my word.
So Christ had given his people, his disciples, the word. Read.
And the world had hated them.
So Christ is the one who gave us this word. He didn't give us a feeling in our heart. He didn't say to dream me and see me. He didn't tell your pastor, I got you a dream last night. He said, read it again.
The book of St. John chapter 17 and verse 14.
Uh-huh.
I have given them my word.
Thy what?
That my word.
My dreams.
I have given them thy word.
That's the Bible, the scriptures. Read.
And the world had hated them.
So listen, the world hates us because we bring forth this truth. Read.
Because they are not of the world.
So we are not of this world because we understand that media, TV, music, the religious establishment is wicked and satanic and wants us to go down to the pit of hell. Come on, you think they will agree with us? You think they will push Christ in this world, the true Christ? Billions of people worshiping on a Sunday. You think, no, listen, the people ignorantly don't know. I'm not attacking nobody, right? But your leaders, they are the one we are speaking to. They are held accountable for teaching our people error. Read.
Continuing.
Uh-huh.
Even as I am not of this world.
So Christ is not of this world. Read.
I pray not that thou shouldest take them out of the world, but that thou shalt keep them from the evil. They are not of the world,
Read.
Even as I am not of the world.
So listen, you think anybody hate Christians? Christians accepting anything. Well, we know nobody don't know when Christ born, but it's for the children.
Using
Christ's
name. You understand, man? To bring forth, to justify your wickedness.
The wickedness. Your children just set up a skeleton and bones. You send your children down for carnival, for kiddies carnival. And it says about the children, stop lying. Stop calling Christ. The Bible says, listen to me. You follow the traditions of men and not the ways of my Father. Read.
Continuing. Verse 17.
Read.
Sanctify them through thy truth.
Through thy truth.
Thy word is truth.
Wait. Read that slowly again, please. What is the truth?
The book of St. John chapter 17 and verse 17. Sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth.
Thy word is the truth. So Jeremiah, the prophets always precepted and coincided and correlated with the word. The Bible is precept upon precept, line upon line. That's the understanding you need to go forward. You don't need to get this emotional feeling. Listen to me. All Christian churches, they sort of play a certain music. They get you all up in your feelings. They get you, sort of mesmerize you and get you all emotional with music. And with that, they come with their false doctrine. Right?
Also too, I wanna bring out. You say something, and we can pull scriptures and precepts for the entire show.
Yeah.
You understand, man? But a lot of people would say, but I love God. I love God.
Oh, God.
And they'll give you an example. Or they'll give you what they were taught or they were conditioned. But it is evident, meaning that they're so vague that they can't quantify to express themselves what they want to say. The word is there for that.
Exactly.
So hear what Christ is saying in John 15 and 10. If ye keep my commandments, ye shall abide in my love.
What? Read it.
If, John 15 and 10, if ye keep my commandments, ye shall abide in my love.
So that's why the apologetic, the religious leaders, the elite of this world, that's why they look to demonize us. And brothers and sisters, we have a short time. Hebrews, we got a short time. We gotta get things together as a nation again. Right? But again, you got more?
Yeah.
Read.
Even as I have kept my Father's commandments.
Exactly. So Christ kept his Father's commandments. And he said, if you continue in my love, you shall.
And abide in his love.
Exactly. That's the love of Christ. It comes with the commandments. So, let's understand the schoolmaster first before we go on to Christ. According to the book of Galatians, right? Understand these things, brothers and sisters. So, why do we lack love in our communities? Now, I want to go into something, right? I'm going to go into a clip here called Parents Growing Desensitized to Film Sex Violence. Parents growing desensitized to film sex violence. So, we touch a bit on the religious establishments, right? But still, there's something that's behind the scene. You see, it's real things going on behind the scene to perpetuate and for us to have an immoral state. You understand? The Bible says that Esau shall rule in the last days, but everybody's saying, nobody know who is Esau. Nobody know who is Esau. But who controls the central banks? Who pushes the curriculum in our children's schools? Who rules the earth? Who is the people who pushes the satanic agenda? Who? So, I want to play a clip with you all. You all can write it down, right? This is some deep stuff, right? Parents growing desensitized to film sex and violence. And it's happening to the Christians a lot too, eh? Most of the people out here, but especially Christian people, they love TV. Let me tell you something, eh? No offense to no one. But if you love TV so much, you are actually being indoctrinated every day. And we will get into that a bit, but let me touch on it, right?
A new study shows parents are becoming desensitized to sex and violence in entertainment, and that's having a direct impact on their children. Joining us now with more is Dr. Linda Mental, a licensed family therapist. She also writes a blog on BeliefNet. Thank you so much for joining us, Linda.
Great to be here.
So first of all, walk us through this study by the Annenberg Public Policy Center. What happened after they showed parents these edgy movies?
Well, it's really interesting because they used just brief segments of those movies, and it was only a short amount. But what they found after the parents watched those brief segments is that they began to rate the movies as not so problematic in terms of sex and violence. So what you normally would rate as an R rating, they would give a PG-13. And then what happened with that, as a consequence of that, they became much more lenient to what they thought was appropriate for their children to watch.
That is pretty interesting.
So what happens to the parents is that they get desensitized. So the more The real takeaway of the study is that the more and more you watch sex and violence in media, the more desensitized you become to that sex and violence. And then that has a ratings creep is what they call it.
That is actually my next question for you. This ratings creep, when movies that would have been rated R 20 years ago are now rated PG or PG-13.
Yeah, and the rate of violence in sexual content in movies has more than tripled since 1985. So if you just look at how much more is there, and then you think how much more we're exposed by the multiple screens that we can watch things on now, then this desensitizing effect is taking place not only for the parents, but also for those raters.
Definitely. Now, Linda, talk about the psychological implications for the next generation with all the extreme content, and we see so much of that. How does it affect the way that they see and treat other people?
So this is the important part for anybody who's watching and listening to us, because there are definite effects. The more that kids watch this kind of content, the less empathetic they are towards people in their environment. Second thing is, just like the parents, the kids are getting desensitized to the information as well. And then that translates into more aggression when they're in conflict or they need to problem solve because they've only seen these aggressive models. And so the other one with the sex is that we know, again, from studies, that if children are exposed earlier to sexual content, way before they can handle it and more of it, then they tend to engage in sexual activity at an earlier age. And then there are some studies that do show that watching violence on television and in media does translate into some real life violence happening.
What's the takeaway for parents as well as adults, who are affected by this?
Right. So the big thing for parents is, first of all, understand how this is impacting your kids. But what do you have to do then as a parent? You have to monitor what you're watching because you are becoming desensitized to that information. So what might have offended you a number of years ago is probably not offending you, and that is what happens with repeated exposure to this type of material. There's nothing in the Bible that says that this stuff is more right now just because we're more desensitized to it. We've allowed things to enter into our minds and into our hearts that are not going to help us with the right type of walk with God that we want to have and the holiness that God calls us to. So we really have to take some responsibility here.
Very important message for parents.
Where is your brother Kwan?
Now, the information is, we can't refute. It's facts because we all watch movies.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that, and I want people to understand this, as I say, it's self-explanatory. The fact that some people would actually take this same information that was just brought out
Mm-hmm.
and try to twist it and turn it,
Mm-hmm.
not understanding that watch the people that bring in for the information.
Exactly.
These are the people are working directly for these people that
Mhm.
own these large corporations.
Exactly.
And they are telling you through one of their small corporations,
Mm-hmm.
we are doing this.
This is what we are doing.
This is what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we're doing. But don't play as we are saying in Trinidad, don't watch no face.
Don't watch no face.
But this is what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. And listen, this is part of it, right? There's a desensitization going on through TV, through laptops, through the media. So there's something called mind control. Well, for those who don't know, right? MK mind control was going on in the 1960s that we found out of. They was actually sending things through the anthem, things of that nature, because when you are watching TV or watching something, your mind goes into a relaxed mode, which is an alpha state of mind. And by relax, you're watching something, but at the same time, your subconscious mind records it. So when your subconscious mind records it, it reacts that way then. So it's a way of programming, right? So when you see these violence in our children cartoons these days, it's a way that children react the same way based upon what they've seen, right? So, join a reference. You see these soap operas and all these things. You see whenever a man and woman, they may have a dispute or they separate. She beats some guy or, the cheating and things of that nature. Plenty of these fornication and adultery is also caused by the desensitizing the mind, because that's how they see people just deal with problems. So whatever you are conditioned to see for a period of time, as long as you are not aware of it, most likely you react the same way subconsciously because you were put in an alpha state of mind, right? And what they also do, watch these news stations and them. They use a lot of circles and bright lights. Circles, bright lights. And that's a way to hypnotize an individual. So anybody who do hypnotizing and stuff like that, they understand circles and lights is the things that they use. And most of these news stations, especially in America and in Trinidad and Tobago, they use these things. So they cast spells on you first before they bring the news. And let me tell you something too. All these corporations, these news stations, they're under one power, under one entity. Because, join a reference, if they say it's Halloween time and they use a phrase, you will see all the radio stations, all the news stations use the same phrase. All the news stations use the same phrase. And I'm going to bring out that most I when we go do a lesson one day on mind control. But I'm just trying to show you, we are being programmed, brothers and sisters. Also, that is just one other fact. Through TV, through television. So parents, you got to be aware. And what I want to say too is that because of the system set up to exploit our people and to work long hours, things of that nature, then when a parent come home, the average parent also desensitized. They want to be on media. They want to text their girlfriend. They want to see what's going on because they have Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, and whatever. All sorts of different things that I even really know about, right? I can't even pronounce them, right? So when a parent reach home, the parent don't really have much time to really keep up with everything. So therefore, the child watch TV easy. Get in something, do your work today, let me see a book, okay, you do things. But the attention the child needs, the child is not getting it. And then now the child is being also indoctrinated in school, because education is indoctrination. Because they teach you to just learn and to serve. They don't teach you to own corporations. They teach you how to be a manager in a corporation, but not to own a corporation. Even if you're lucky to get the job. Right? It's a whole indoctrination thing. Then now, after the child has been indoctrinated from school, the child already dealing with all these different sorts of devices, laptop, internet and things of that nature. So we, as the Most High chosen people, need to understand that we cannot get desensitized through TV, because you know how it was come. I show when you watch a karate movie, you want to go and fight some karate after.
Yeah, you feel it, Bruce Lee,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the boy it is. Right? So it's a deep programming subconsciously our minds falls into, that we react the way that they want us to react and the way that they want us to deal with the situation. And we need to understand that that's part of it.
Truly.
That's part of it. So this is another factor why we lack love in our community. Listen, you think these people really want peace on earth? Go on, what you say?
I'm glad you touched on that. I just pulled up 2 articles that I sent you during the course of the week. And
Right.
I really want to touch on it. I mean, I sent you a few.
Yeah.
But I really want to touch on this first one. I want to touch on 3, if I could. And one of our daily newspapers here in Trinidad, right? I want to get the date. 2019, this year. And I'm sure you remember because we spoke on this.
Yeah, of course.
It says, the headline reads, "Cops run amok at Grand Bazaar. Shoot out over wife." You remember that article?
That was mad.
Where you had 2 law enforcement. These people are supposed to uphold the law, enforce the law, outright breaking the commandments of the Most High.
Exactly.
Where's the love in our communities? These people who are supposed to be the ones to enforce the law and ensure we keep the law, breaking the law of the Most High God and the law of the land. Because if you know the story, they were shooting out at each other over one officer's wife, who was with the next officer's wife.
Right.
And the officer say, "I will back my wife." And he say, "I'm not going through that." And now, let me set the scene. In Grand Bazaar, in a public area, all you pull out the government issue firearm. You understand me? And start to shoot down the place.
Yeah.
We supposed to enforce the law, Brother Rocker. We supposed to enforce the law. But we are taking the law into our own hands to use it for our own benefit and our own gain. While breaking the laws of God. Where's the love in the community?
Where is the love? And listen, brothers and sisters, Brother Kwame, you're so right. And we're going to take calls in the next 5 minutes, brothers and sisters. We're going to take calls next 5 minutes, right? And I want to pour the number out there, but I'm sorry to interrupt you a bit.
Yeah, no worries.
Right? Right. You could call in at 1868. That's our
area code.
278-0979. Again, our area code 1868-278-0979. That's the call in on WhatsApp. Let's hear what you have to say. Right. Also, our website is Garden of Christ Church. Email GOCCTrinidad@gmail.com. GOCCTrinidad@gmail.com. Again, I know someone mentioned there they haven't pronounced the email. Let me put it out there again. GOCCTrinidad@gmail.com. Also, you can contact us if you want to fellowship, you want to find where the church is, things of that nature locally. Again, area code 1868-724-9681. So if you can't get through the email, try to contact us through this number. 1868-724-9681. One more time to contact us to know we congregate to find out more about what the doctrine and things of that nature. 724-9681. Again, 724-9681. And we will take calls in the next 5 minutes. Also, the contact number is 1868-278-0979. One more time, 1868 area code 278-0979. Brother Kwam.
That's call is on WhatsApp, brothers and sisters. WhatsApp call for the number Brother Rocker just put up. And I remember this story, and when the topic of discussion came, when you brought it up, I say, yo, we need to talk about this. Because here we have the law of enforcers of the land breaking the commandments. And I want to read it again. Exodus 20 and verse 17. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house.
Thou shalt not what?
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. Why you want a man wife? Why? And then you want to know, what does that lead to? You're breaking up a home. You're breaking up family. You understand me? A child growing up seeing that now thinks that's the way to go. My father is a wet man. Or my father is a, as we just say here, a bubbly. You know, or they say it, a muck. You understand me? This is what is destroying our communities. And the enemy is attacking the household. He's attacking the structure that has been ordained and set up by the Most High from inception. Man and woman. What's going on? Also to another article. Let me get it here. 1 minute. Because this is where it stems from. This is where it stemmed from. This article was also last year. And I know you remember it good because we had a lengthy discussion on this. A lengthy discussion. And I want to read it from the article. And it says, one of the daily newspapers here, I'm not going to call the name. It says, Judge rules buggery law unconstitutional.
Who revoked that?
It was revoked by the High Court here in Trinidad under, I don't want to call the judge name. Because you know they But we have to you know stay within the confines of YouTube.
But brothers and sisters, if you don't know, right, that listen, the Bible shows us that the three horns created a little horn came out of the three horns. That is Spain, that's the book of Daniel, right? Spain, France, and England. So Spain, France, and England were predominantly controlling the slave markets they were ruling the plantations, right? So therefore, throughout the Caribbean and the Western world, they created America. They were the ones who created Trinidad and Tobago, right? So in Trinidad and Tobago, we are under the British colony, right? So the British is the ones who really rule Trinidad and Tobago. Wake up people who voting for, these different political parties on a whole, on a whole racial scheme being divided, right? Understand that these are people who really control in your country. So whatever is being pushed in Europe, in the United Nations, the European United, that is what's going to come down here. So that's why that law was revoked. You understand, brothers and sisters? So the EU, right? Those 10 countries, which the Bible speaks about also, right? Are the one who pushes the satanic agenda. Denmark, Switzerland, England, Spain, all these countries are part of it. Part of the whole that form the mother of Babylon, which is Rome, and also created the little horn, which is the daughter of Babylon, which is America. So these are the people now who are controlling the whole scheme of wickedness that we are seeing. The mind control. Listen, let's look up MK Ultra. Mind control. Let's look it up. And you'll see how they've been doing that all this time. And I must say, and I believe most of us were victims to it, at least from a child. So, listen, the further you could get away from the TV, you're better off. When you could watch the TV and see what it is, you are waking up. Kwam?
Yeah, and I want to continue because that's a vital point, because as I said just now, for those that now tuning in, the enemy, the adversary, is attacking the household, the family. Reason being because he knows, and people tend to forget, he felt he was hurdled from the heavenly realm. He was hurdled down from the heavenly realm. So what this information we have here, he knows it. This is how he was able to contend with Christ when Christ was fasting. A lot of people fail to realize that. You're looking for a man with 2 horns coming.
Yeah.
No. And I want to touch on it. They remove the buggery laws here in Trinidad. So now it's okay in order to bring forth the ushering of passing the law where man could be with man and woman could be with woman here in Trinidad. Because people, I don't think a lot of people understand. You have to remove that buggery law in order to bring forth the agenda, brothers and sisters. And a lot of people don't know this. Because when you have man and woman fornicating according to the word of God, as the scripture tells us in Galatians, fulfilling the lust of the flesh, you understand, man, nothing good comes out of it. Because man and man cannot procreate. Woman and woman cannot procreate. So it's a loss. It is a loss that they are doing. They are doing a selfish act that they think is going to bring forth some sense of comfort. Some sense of, what they think is love. And this is why the topic is so important today. Because it tells us here in Genesis 1, and in Genesis, let me get it. In Genesis 2 and verse, let me get it here. 2 and 23, it reads, 1. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. Verse 24 reads, therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother.
He shall leave who?
He shall leave his father and his mother and cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. So, this is written in the first book, the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 23 onwards. This is why the standard have to be set from in the house. So this is why the Most High set it up like this. You understand me? God the Father, the Warak, female, the Son, Christ Yeshua. These 3 are one. This is the first family. As the scriptures say, what we see in heaven is what is replicated here on earth.
Romans 1.
You understand
Verse
me?
21.
And it also says evident the things that are seen in heaven, you see on it, it talks about that in Colossians.
Mhm.
You understand me? Because if you have a man and a man, or a woman and a woman raising a child, what you think that child is going to become? What children learn what they see? What you think that child is going to do?
Mhm. That child's gonna be real confused.
Real confused. And this is why we have to ask, where is the love in our community today?
Why we lack love in our community?
Where it is. Why we lack it
Why?
is because the foundation and the principle we have been what? Conditioned, and we have drawn away from it.
Mhm.
And society now is pushing this. Well, it's okay to do this.
Yeah.
It's okay to do that.
It's all about you.
It's all about you. It's okay to have a
Selfish.
Benz. It's
Yeah.
also have a good career.
Mhm.
When it's all said and done, Officer Rucker, when it's all said and done, right?
Mhm.
Christ say, our works is what's going to be used to judge us.
Mhm.
Where you going to tell Christ, well, I was the CEO of a big corporation? Where you going and tell him, well, I do my thing, as some people will say?
Yeah.
You talking about, you know how much people I give out charity when I was the boss of this company?
Mhm. Mhm.
We just read in the scriptures, brothers and sisters, John 15 and 10, John 4 and 14 and 21, 1 John 4 and 7. I know you may touch on that a little later.
Mhm.
In order to love the Most High, the standard of love is set in the Bible.
Mhm.
This is the foundation. You want to know it. I want to know it. Everybody, it is there for you.
Mhm.
Read it.
Read
It's
it.
there. That's the principle. That's the
Mhm.
foundation. And we tend to stray from it, causing us now to fall into this system that we are in
That we
today.
are in today. And connect your phone,
Sure.
right? So we are going to receive calls in like a minute, right? So again, brothers and sisters, why do we lack love in communities? And we ask, you brothers and sisters out there, don't forget to push the like button. So those that subscribe will get us to know that we are streaming live. Also, we will be receiving calls, right, from strictly WhatsApp, right? Again, area code 1868 278 0979. 1868 278 0979.
Nice. Yeah.
Was it food that way?
No. Yeah. Right there. So everybody will hear. Check and see if it's on.
Yeah, put it on.
All right. That's not.
Yeah. So, with anchor, right? Yes.
Yeah.
So, why do we lack love in our communities? We turned our back from the Most High, brothers and sisters. We stopped keeping His commandments. We fell. The Gentiles rule the earth now. Now they're pushing their desensitizing, their mind control. They set up the religious establishment today. They set up their religious establishment today, what we call Christianity. Because listen, we are Christians, but we are pre-Constantine Christians, right? Yeah. So we are pre-Constantine Christians. We are Christians. Yeah, we believe in the Bible. We are not the Christians that you see today. Because if the disciples could look at these Christians, or they said they are pagans. Okay. So
You see?
yeah. So brothers and sisters, listen. There's a way out of this. There's a way out of this, and we always bring the issues and we will bring the solutions. But brothers and sisters, there's something going on behind the scenes, and I have some more information to bring up. But I want to hear from you, brothers and sisters. Call in, please. Let's hear what you have to say. Let's hear what you think about why we lack love in the community, or what is the solution. Please bring a contribution. Please call in. We'll be taking in calls now. Again, you can call in now. The number is 1868 278 0979. 1868 278 0979. Right?
Yes. And also, you see, we need to identify this because you have young ones coming up. And a lot of people fail to realize children, what they see, they learn. What they hear, they learn. They're being taught. And when you see the kind of songs and the music being played on our airwaves, and our young ones reciting this, It tells us in the book of Josephus, the children supposed to be equipped with the law from small, you know. This is what we're supposed to teach them, you know, about our forefathers. You understand me? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, how they live, how they serve the Most High. You understand? Okay, great. Shalom. Good day.
Shalom.
Hey, bro, I know this voice, brother Sham.
Shaman.
Yes. How you going, bro?
I'm going to be calling. Definitely. Great program. I wish I could have been there. But you know, we just go sometime on the plantation.
All right.
Right? But I still wanted to give my 2 cents as well.
Yes.
All right, in terms of what is, you know, was the topic of discussion tonight.
Yeah.
We cannot love, according to Officer Carl, we cannot love if we don't know what is love.
True.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people say, you know, yeah, we love God, we love God, we love God, we love God. But what is the love of God? What is love? And I think when we truly understand what is love and we go into those commandments, then we will find love, and we will even, and I'm going as deep as this, we will even figure out why we should love ourselves as well. Because notice how the commandment, that royal commandment, what it says, love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Exactly.
Right? If you don't love your neighbor, you don't love yourself. And if you don't know what is love, you don't love yourself neither.
Exactly.
That's why we have a lot of suicide, a lot of people cutting up their hands, things of that nature. Right? So all them pastors and them saying the law's done away. Let me tell you, if the law's done away, we're in trouble. I just want to say, Brother Kwam, Officer Carr, you guys doing a great job. Right? I am definitely tuning in, but I'm also on the plantation. So keep up the good work.
All right,
Hope
brother
to be there
Sham.
next week Thursday.
Yeah, all praises to the Most
praises.
High for your contribution. That's one of our brothers who's been with us. He ain't able to come today. Thanks for your contribution, brother Sham. It's always wonderful to hear from you. And again, we ask for anyone to please tune in, call in. Again, the contact number is 1-868-278-0979. Why do we lack love in our communities? Why? What is causing it? How can we come out of that condition? What can we do as a people? Is Christianity the way? Is going back to Africa the way? Is Kemetology the way? Egyptology the way? Is Islam the way? Is Buddhism is the way? What is our alternative? What should we do? Because the Muslims killing one another across there, right? Yemen and Arabia in war from ever since, right? We should we follow the so-called chosen people of God, the so-called people in the land of Israel, the Israeli people, the Jewish people that worship the people. Right.
Hey. Shalom, sis.
Hi, Shalom.
Hey, Shalom. How you going? How are you? Hello?
Hey,
Hey, you hearing us?
Shalom, brothers.
Hey, Shalom, sis. How you going?
Yes, all praises to the Most High.
Great.
Bless.
Nice to hear from you, sis. How are you today?
Shalom, brothers.
Yeah, we hearing
I'm
you.
great, I'm good.
We hearing you.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
All right. So go ahead, tell us. What's your thoughts? If you have any experiences, share with us. As the topic say, why we lack love in our communities. Let's hear. Why? Why we have all these things going on?
Well, I would say we lack love. It all starts back from within the home, you know, in the community within the homes. And well, as Brother Ricard was saying earlier, you know, with parents nowadays, most of the parents is either, you know, it have break up with the home with the mother and father, sometimes either or, you know, parents, sometimes they work two jobs or you know, they work long hours. When they come home, they really don't have enough time with the children. You know, some of the children, you know, they'll be doing their homework on their own, no supervision, no nothing. And some of them too, they have no supervision whatsoever. They don't even do homework, you know, just when they come home from school, they just take off the clothes and they're out in the street climbing on the block with the bigger guys, you know, with hanging out with them. They're looking to the guys influencing the young kids, you know, in smoking and doing all sorts of things. So, you know, and then these young children, they're looking for that love, you know, they're looking because they're not getting it from mommy and daddy, you know, so they're looking to these guys, these fellas lying on the block, you know, thinking that they will get, you know, proper advice from them, and this is the life, you know, and it certainly isn't, you know, they're being led astray there, and then now they come into adulthood, and you know, without no love at all within themselves, and you know, whatever little that they think is love, you know, that is what they give into the community, you know, to people, share it with people out there, and stuff, but you know, and this is the things that mash up the homes, and you actually see where there is no love at all. I can remember even growing up in Barbados and some, you know, back in my days, you know, you could actually feel the love because the community was like a village, a small village, and everybody knew everybody. You know, when parents go on to work and the children come home from school, you know, the neighbor will, you know, see after the kids. You know, your godmother might be next door, or your aunt or somebody close by, and you will go over by them. You know, you will eat your lunch, and so on. They will make sure you do your homework until your parent, if it is a one parent, until your parent come home. And it was so with me, you know. Until I grew up with my dad, and until my dad come home, I would leave from next door with my godmother, and I would go home. And my father now, my dad now, we grew up, he grew me up in a way, you know, to serve the Most High, you know. I mean, at the time we were worshiping Jesus, you know, not, you know, ignorantly, not really knowing truth, and he used to read the Bible, sing little hymns, and this is the way how you grow up. And you know, without all this in a home, growing up, you know, knowing who is, you know, having that connection with the Father above, that is really needed, you know, within your life, because when your parents sow that seed, you know, within you, you always, even though you stray from the Most High, you always end up coming back to Him, you know, coming back to the first love, and this is what the Most High wants, you know, for us to always have that connection. And you know, we thank, you know, we will always have that love for Him, and so that we will also know how to deal with people out there, with brothers and sisters, our neighbors, our loved ones, and show them that love, that, you know, how we would love you know, how we would treat ourselves, you know, we will love that, to get that love in return, you know, but without the love of the Most High, and we wouldn't be able to show that at all. And, you know, we need to have to, you know, portray the law, statutes, keep the law, statutes, and commandments, you know, the fruits of the Spirit, all those things would help us, you know, to do the right thing, and, you know, to walk in that walk.
So true, sis.
So I just thank you all, brothers, you know, for this blessed topic tonight. You know, it's really a blessing, because, you know, we really, you know, need to find a way to get out there, to, you know, to get into, you know, to interact with the people in the different communities, to let them know that they don't have people that care about them, because, you know, these are our people, and, you know, people out there stressed, you know, they feel like, you know, it's just one way out there is to make the dollar and ice it, you know, but it's much more.
Yes.
So,
yes.
all praises to the Most High, brothers, and blessings to you all.
To other sisters, thanks for your contribution. And brothers and sisters, just as the sister said, it starts from home. So that's why in the beginning they attack the mother and father, right? So again, we had our women home 50 years ago in the house, but now they're pushing now that you need to be independent. It's boring home, but you don't understand that you raising these children. Listen to me, how many young men lack their parents abroad and all kind of things because of how the system set up. You know how vital it is for a child to have their two parents? It's priceless. And this is what the Most High said, that listen, children is our inheritance. So they actually got us out there. You understand? Shalom.
Shalom.
Hey.
Good day, my brother.
Good day.
Yes, good day, my brother. You hearing us?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
All right, cool.
Hey. How are you going? Okay, you gotta call again.
Yeah, you gotta call again. And it's so important because people don't understand how important it is. Hey, shalom, bro. You hearing us?
Shalom.
Yeah.
Shalom, brothers.
Yeah. You hearing us?
Brother Waka.
Shalom, my brother.
Bro.
How you going?
Yes, this is Brother Nathan here. So.
Yeah, Nathan.
Nice to hear from you, brother. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm catching up on you guys.
Yeah.
So you guys on live stream here. So just catching up on the little conversation that you guys have going.
So why do we lack love in our communities? What do you have to say about that?
There's like, to be honest, there's so many reasons why we are lacking this much love amongst each other in our homes, in the public, in our workplace. Is that, as I should say, is that society itself, or I should say, the ones who are in charge or who have been putting things in place against us, even in the workplace, and even, you know what I mean?
Yes, hearing you very clear.
Yeah, okay, yeah. There's a lot of changes that have happened during the course of the coming years. I have grown up, walking in the neighborhood, and everyone, used to be friendly. They could wake up in the morning and see a neighbor passing and say, hey, where are you going? Everything good. Everybody is for themselves now. And there are so many things, like, for example, gadgets have come into play right now, that where we disconnect ourselves so easily. We tell ourselves that we are actually keeping ourselves occupied, but we are actually distracting ourselves from the things that are actually happening around us. So, there could be so many reasons of anyone who's in need that your device could be more important by actually using it to showcase what is happening in the world, but you're not actually fixing what could actually be fixed. And that's just by showing compassion for one another, looking out for one another, helping us in the slightest problems that we are facing. A little smile could go a long way. And what I could say that also creates the separation amongst us is what the elites themselves have put in place by, putting drugs in the neighborhood, by, using, what I should say, like, cigarettes, alcohol, in these poor communities, these ones that are struggling to develop, and, they have forgotten about them. And it has placed them in a position that where they are more focused on, the happiness, temporary happiness, I should say, when they're not actually focusing on the things that it has out there for them to elevate themselves, even through Christ. And, they are placed, in a brainwash position that they are limiting themselves, in their spirit as well, because there's not much they tell themselves they can do. They tell themselves that, okay, if they can't accumulate any form of education of what I should say community or society is providing for them, and they fall short. They tell themselves that they can't continue because people will look down at them, make them feel this type of way, make them feel illiterate, and even though that they may have some sort of experience in other things that they could actually teach others who don't have knowledge in those pieces, but we bring down one another too much, and it creates hate in the society. So much hate that they don't even know what is love anymore.
True.
And it has been a struggle for the ones I have actually seen that is happening around me, friends and family, that there's no connection anymore. No one really cares of what is going on in your life. They will hear your story and they will basically say, you look for that, or you deserve it, or there's no upliftment.
Right.
And there's so much lack of connection, I should say, in modern society, that where we just don't get along.
Right.
And we can find ourselves in that place, and the only how we can show that is by opening up our minds and separating ourselves from what the world has to offer.
Right. Right.
The world itself is corrupt in our minds. It is bringing on to a position that where we are lost hope.
Right. Right.
And there's natural disasters are taking place, and you gotta ask yourself now, if let's say a tsunami or any form of storm that takes place in our country, you ask yourself who you can run to. Because you may see a neighbor house fall down and their house bigger than yours, and then you might say, nah, their house break down. So it's giving them that sort of pride to make them feel that they wasn't helping me before, so why should I help them?
Yeah.
And they're not eliminating that to show some sort of compassion.
Yeah. No, bro. Don't find me rude, but I had to leave room for the other callers, right?
Sure, no problem. Definitely.
Yeah. But you bring forth some good points, which it is for instance, they put the drugs in the community, which have our people in a sort of how to explain it, boy, in a hallucinogenic state of mind, hypnotic addiction, spirits, because these things is attached to spirits and people like zombies just want to get the next hit. Also, it really is true that we need to really show our companions and appreciate them. I appreciate what you did for me today. I appreciate this, or vice versa. And the other thing what you said about gadgets is so true, because it happens to us subconsciously, but sometimes you're next to your companion and two of you are on the phone.
Correct. I could agree.
Yeah, you want to spend time with your companion, but two are on the phone, and you're on the phone more than talking to your companion. And listen, that is something big in itself where we will have to touch on. That'll be another topic we'll touch on, right? But brother Nathan, other calls coming on the line, so I want to make room because we got to wrap up very soon, right? So thanks for your contribution, and I want to see you more side with it Sabbath.
No problem, definitely.
All right, my brother, take Tuada for your contribution.
Shalom.
Sure.
And you see, he brought forth some very powerful points, because a lot of people will underlook it. Now. The drugs in the community.
Yeah.
You understand? Maybe no love. As you rightfully say, nobody being affectionate to one another no more. It's all about send a smiley, send a emoji. Hiding. Hiding behind that. You understand, man?
You on your smartphone.
Hey, Shalom sis. How you going? Hello? Shalom sis.
Brothers and sisters, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Yeah, but what you have to do, sis, is just step away from your device in the background. We're getting feedback.
It's all about send a smile, send a emoji. hide it. Hide it behind that.
Louis down, sis.
Hey, Shalom sis.
Okay, so sis, when you call again, mute your device, right? Mute your device so we can hear you. Hey, Shalom, sis. You hearing me? Hello? Okay, so sis, if you call him back and before you call, mute your device. You understand me? So mute your device before you call. So we're asking everybody to mute their device. Shalom and good night. You're locked into Truth Tuesdays. Shalom.
Shalom.
Hey.
Hey, shalom, my brother.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, my brother.
Brother Prince in the house.
Yeah, man. Enough respect.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to give a shout out to the family.
Alright.
To the four corners of the earth. And most of all, the family in Trinidad. Now, I want to speak out about the topic on tonight.
Alright.
The love that we don't have as brothers and sisters. Brother Cram put the hammer on the nail, the law. If we don't follow the law, and if we don't know the law, it will be in chaos. And most of all, if we as a people follow the law, the police force will be out of business.
Oh, so true.
That's a topic by itself.
Because what I'm saying, why I'm going here is that the Bible is the word. As the brother was saying in John 17 and 21. You know, we follow the commandments and we'll be making way for the kingdom. Mm-hmm. That Isaiah say he gone to a place to prepare. Mm-hmm. You know, and I'm not bashing the Christians, as Rakar say, because some of them have the spirit, but don't have the truth. They all want to get to heaven, as they be singing this song, when I get to heaven. But how can you get to heaven if you're not following the commandment? Mm-hmm. How can you love Jesus if you don't love the commandment? As they say, we know his name is Yeshua, which if you don't want to call him that name, you could use the word Savior, because it's the same. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying it's the pastors that lead in the flock away. Now, I'm in Switzerland, and they try to bring the Bulgarian law into parliament. Okay. And they asked the prime minister for his decision. You know what he said? He said, that's out of my jurisdiction. Deal with the pastors. Deal with the church. Mm-hmm. And he was so right. Because when unto Caesar was unto Caesar. So I know his job is all about Caesar. Caesar, yes. But he was so right within when he said, deal with the church. Mm-hmm. And the churches are backed out because why? The government might be the choir man, or he may be the pianist, or he may bring a good fun into the church. And the priest, the law is done away with, but the law of giving tithes to the church, they ain't done away with. But the rest is done away with.
Yeah.
But to give money to the church, they ain't done away with. So what I'm saying to my people who are listening, come back to the Bible. Whether you're a Christian, because look around. The Gentiles are happy. When they go into a Chinese store, a Chinese don't buy it from me. A Chinese support Chinese. Same with the Indians. No, I'm not saying bashing any nation who support themselves. But we as a people need to come back to the Bible. Because when you look in all the scriptures, it tells you Israel. He didn't give the oracles or the commandment to the Chinese or the Africans or the Hindus. He gave them to the tribe of Israel. And we need to come back to the Bible in order for we to prosper. So, Shalom, brothers. Good lesson tonight.
Twada, brother, thanks for your contribution. Sorry, brothers and sisters, we won't be taking no more calls, right? Sorry, but we will work on some more time, right? So, listen, this brother, you all touch on things that, I really want us to talk about. So, hear this, right? We live in Trinidad and Tobago here, right? And I know those in the Caribbean and those abroad could see it, right? The Diwali is coming up in Trinidad and Tobago in the next 2 weeks, week after or something, right?
Yeah, next week.
You are going to see not all, but plenty of our people putting on, I don't know how you call it, Sahari? What you call it?
I can't recall.
Yes, like a Sahari, whatever. The Hindu
Indian garments.
Listen, you're going to see our people putting it on. If the Chinese and them had an outfit to put on and they had their day, you will see how people putting it on too. But when so-called Emancipation Day comes, listen, we've been in Emancipation Village for like two years, right?
2 years straight.
Right? I'm telling you, I haven't seen another nation wear a dashiki. Now, my brother told me he saw one or two of them, right? A few other people from the other race will put on the dashiki and things like that. But predominantly, I'm telling you, most I willing on that Monday, the Diwali day, you're going to see plenty of our people wearing the garments.
By the thousands.
No. What I want to add is this. You understand? What I want to add is this, right? Like, we're getting real calls, boys.
Yeah,
so, like, we gotta take these calls.
Hey,
yo.
Shalom, bro. 1 minute, huh? Connect there. 1 minute, bro. Yeah, and
let me see if we get him through.
Yeah, let me see if we get him through.
Let me take these calls, because let me take these calls.
Yeah, I mean, we would.
Yeah.
Shalom. Hey.
Shalom.
Yeah. Shalom, bro. You hearing me?
Shalom, brother.
Yeah, shalom, brother. You hearing me?
Yeah.
All right, great.
Mm-hmm.
So you go ahead.
How you guys doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Just calling in here to support the channel.
Nice.
You guys doing a good work. So calling in to give you guys some strength, some love, some peace, some blessings, and wish you guys the best with the information you're bringing out, and I hope that it fall on the people in the right way and really bring forth some fruits.
All praises.
Twada, my brother, thanks a lot for your support. All praises to the Most High. How are you going across there?
Going good, you know, slowly but surely.
Okay. Nice. All praises. So you just wanna say hello and just support the channel basically.
I mean, I would have had some scriptures, but you know, you don't bring in the fire already. Yeah.
Okay, bro. Let me make room for Sister Donna. Sister Donna been trying to call us back to back. So brother Yashika, all praises to the Most High. That's a brother from South America. He out there doing the work. All praises to the Most High. Waking up Israel, being a light to our people. Brother Yashika, keep firm, keep strong.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Amen. Shalom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
so I need to receive the call from Sister Donna before we go forward, right?
Yeah.
Sister Donna been trying to contact us for the last 2 weeks. Right?
Make
Please,
sure
Sister
unmute,
Donna. Right. Make sure the background on mute.
Make sure you unmute, sister. All right. Tawada. Hey, Shalom, sis. You hearing me?
Shalom, brothers.
Nice.
Can you hear me?
All praises. We hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, finally, we are hearing you.
All right. All praises to a higher. Yeah. So I just want to say shalom to brothers and sisters, and Brother Kwam and Officer Rakar. You guys are doing a real good job, and this platform is, you know, hopefully this is another way of the Most High, you know, spreading the word and everything. So I just want to say that, okay, the topic was why we lack love in our community. Well, you know, it's many ways, there's so much ways, but it all started, you know, in Deuteronomy 28, you know, once we broke these curses that the Most High had held for us, you know, everything would just fall apart. And, you know, that was our first downfall. That's really our downfall right now, you know, as speaking, you know, not keeping the laws, commandments, and statutes. You know, our upbringing have a lot to do with it, because like the Bible tell you that my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, and knowledge is what is destroying the whole world, not just Israel, the Gentiles, everything. But what happened now, the Gentiles have learned, you know, they know our downfalls, and they know what the Most High hates. So, you know, they bring division. That's a big thing in our community, division amongst each other, and that is what's really messing up our community. And then we have these theologians, you know, these pastors that what are they preaching? You know, what are they really preaching? You know, they just going from their word, but not our Father, you know, our Father in heaven, His word. So, you know, I just want to cut it short, and just because I know the time is limited, and just thank the Most High for this platform and our family worldwide, and this Bible and the truth. And, you know, everyone brought a good suggestion and good, you know, thoughts for the mind, you know, food for the thoughts, however they say it. So just want to say shalom to my family, and just keep focused, you know, in the Bible, and just strive for righteousness, keep the laws, everything, because nothing is done away with, because Christ said He came to fulfill, not to condemn. So our praises.
All praises, sis. All praises, right? So, my brother, please go into the Winnie Lynch, please. Like, listen, the sister mentioned the vision, and I gotta pull out something, right? Yo, we gotta pull it out, right? We really try to, yo, we gotta pull it out, right? This is Winnie Lynch. Go into page 15, right? She mentioned the vision, right? Are we following a program as a nation, as a people? Are we being like hamsters in a maze? What really is going on behind the scenes? So we went into the desensitizing through the TV. It programs, it puts us in an alpha state, and the subconscious mind deals with situations based upon what it had seen, and also in a relaxed mode, right? And we react the way how we see it by pushing something over and over and over and over and over, right? We also understand that a lie can become truth once you continually be saying it, right? Now, we went into the laws, right? Now, I want to go into this. This is Willie Lynch here, for who don't know. This was a European slave, master psychologist, right? You know, Satan was a master psychologist. So these people are linking to their God, right? And I just want to highlight something particularly. One of the strategies he used, right? One of the strategies that he used that we as a people, as a nation, falls into a Christian, Muslim, whatever the case may be. I'm talking predominantly to the chosen people of the Most High. I'm going to point out this, verse 15, starting from page 15.
The Willie Lynch letter,
Uh-huh.
page 15.
Uh-huh.
In my bag, here I have foolproof method of controlling your black slaves.
Uh-huh.
I have guaranteed every one of you that if it is installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years.
How much?
For at least 300 years.
Read.
My method is simple, and any member of your family or your overseer can use it.
Mm-hmm.
I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves, and I take these differences and make them bigger. I use fear,
Uh-huh.
distrust, and envy for control purposes.
So the first thing he understands is to inject fear by all means necessary, distrust and envy. Read.
For control purposes.
Uh-huh.
These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies.
In the where?
In the West Indies.
Read.
And it will work throughout South. Take this simple little list of differences and think about them.
Read.
On the top of my list is age,
Mm-hmm.
but it is there only because it starts with A.
Mm-hmm.
The second is color or shade. There is intelligence, size, sex, size, plantation, status on plantation, attitude of owners. Where the slaves lives in the valley, on the hills, east, west, north, south, have fine hair, coarse hair, or it is tall or short.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action.
Uh-huh.
But before that, I shall assure you the distrust is stronger than trust.
Read.
And envy is stronger than adulation,
Mm-hmm.
respect, or admiration. The black slave, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling
Mm-hmm.
and self-generation for hundreds of years.
So it will be perpetuating. It's like a cycle. This regenerates itself on its own. Read.
Or maybe 1,000 years.
Right.
Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male.
That's competition. Read.
And the young black male against the old male.
Mm-hmm.
You must use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves.
Read.
And the light-skinned slaves, versus the dark-skinned slaves.
Don't that sound familiar? Read.
You must have female versus male.
Uh-huh.
And male versus female.
So you see, this had been instilled. This is the Willie Lynch chip that have been implanted in our minds that we need to break free from also. You see how much things they work against us as a people? Do you see the amount of effort they put in to destroy our people? You think it was given to them there? So they worship their gods, and their gods give them understanding how to take us down. And we're not following our God. Read.
You also have your white servants and overseers. Distrust all blacks.
Drop that. Right? So, listen. There's a lot of information on that, right? But I just wanted to just pull something as the sister mentioned based on the vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, brothers and sisters, there's a Willie Lynch chip that has been placed in our people that they are not aware of. The elderly male competing in younger male and things of that nature. The light skin against the dark skin. This is what happened to our people. This is a psychological plot against our people that is happening right now. You understand? It's like this. Your daughter, she may be fair skin, like what they say, right? And the father's like, nah, I don't want to dark skin out my daughter. I'd rather her go with massa son. And that's showing out something out there. Now, brothers and sisters, this is part of it. It's drugs. It's don't get tired. Politics have a part to play with it too. Right? But that's showing out a few things out there. But I want to go into some scriptures before we close off, right?
Yeah.
But brothers and sisters, these are certain things that we may not know, that we are not aware of. We are ignorant to the fact that why we lack love in our communities, right? Of course, it's the commandments, right? We fell into captivity. The Most High said, because you follow the nations, I will put a foolish nation over you, right? So that's why now the pushing children can decide what sex they want to be, which is utterly foolishness. A child born until the child is 12 years, then the child will decide if he wants to be a boy or a girl. That's what we choose as a nation. We choose that because the Most High told us that in the book of Deuteronomy. He told us and he warned us through the prophets. Right? Go ahead.
I want to bring out two scriptures before you go into it.
No problem.
And we're pressing for time, but Sister Ayasha touch on some things there and flip the page. All praises to the Most High. I want to go to Romans 12 and 9. And it reads, Romans 12 and 9. Let love be without dismulsion. Abhor that which is evil. Cleave to that which is good.
So let love be without hypocrisy. Read.
Be kind, affectionate one to another with brotherly love.
You know what is to be kind and affectionate? You know how much hypocrisy going on in our communities? I see brothers in my community who just only come together to smoke, and when they done smoke, they back talk each other. I see that.
Wow.
This disgusts me. I see that like every other day, and they just come to me and complain about the next one. I be just trying to talk to them about the ways of the Most High. I see people will give you a smile, and as you pass, then the face get back serious. It's like, how you could do such a thing? How can you greet me such a nice smile and your face pull back in like a piece of wood? It's hypocrisy. It's not genuine, not affectionate. And listen, the Hebrews, they like to talk about the Christians, but I'm talking about my nation. Read.
Continuing, Romans, verse 10. Love in honor, preferring one another. Yeah, that's it.
You see? So let love be without dissimulation. Let love be unfeigned. Let love be without hypocrisy. So don't be nice with someone because you have to be nice to them because you're in the room with them. If you know you're struggling with that, I'm telling you that's a sin. Go pray and fast. Don't come in the house of the Most High. Don't be in your household or with people with that sin. You have to work on that, brothers and sisters. And we, as the children of Christ, need to understand that because it says to the schoolmaster unto Christ. So you know, listen, that goes on in our communities, it goes on in the churches. But listen, we need to evolve from this situation. We need to stop. Let's stop lying to ourselves as a people. Right? I'm talking to my people in particularly, who understand this word, who understand the prophecies. Right? I'm speaking to the Israelites of the Garden of Christ Church and those who be tuning in, and even Christians and all sorts of people. Let's love without hypocrisy. According to the book of Paul. Let's stop being nice to someone because you have to be nice to them. And even if you're struggling with it, pray and fast about it. Pray and fast about it till you get it right. Right? Now, I want to go into the book of 1 John, chapter 5, verse 2. Right?
Book of 1 John, chapter 5, and verse 2. By this we know that we love them.
Read.
We love the children of the Most High.
So this is how you know that you love him and you love the children of him. Read.
When we love the Most High and keep his commandments.
Commandment or ments?
Commandments.
Ments. Read.
For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments.
That you keep it. Read.
And his commandments are not grievous.
So his commandments is not grievous. Let's get to the book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 22. Right? So, we get the schoolmaster, Israel, Christians, people out there. Now we're going into perfection, which is Christ. So we're not laying down the foundation of sin anymore, and we're going into perfection according to the book of Hebrews, chapter 6, verse 1. This is the perfection that we all must possess, or else we will be barren, we will be unfruitful as a people. Read.
The book of Galatians, chapter 5 and verse 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love.
Is what?
Is love.
So we know to love is to keep his commandments. Read.
Joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness.
Wait. What did I say? Long what?
Long-suffering.
So you must be long-suffering in any situation. There may be things will occur you wouldn't like. You may have to deal with. You got to be long-suffering. If you possess the love according to Christ and the Most High, you know why? Because he will be long-suffering with you. Read.
Gentleness. Goodness. Faith. Meekness. Temperance.
You must be temperate, brothers and sisters. You must have that faith, right? Read.
Against such there is no law.
So listen, against such there is no law. When you possess these things, understanding the commandments, and you go on to perfection, there is no law. Now listen, it's unfortunate that Christians don't even read and know the commandments and want to go on to Christ. So when they start to go through situations, they cannot bear long suffering. They don't have the patience. And that goes on to the brothers and sisters who are in this truth also. So we as a people need to understand, we need to possess this. We need to possess the fruits of the Spirit. And listen, brothers and sisters, it don't come just so. It comes by praying and fasting. Now listen, no apologetic organization wouldn't pull this clip or this video and talk about it. This is what we are working on. This is what we are focusing on as a nation. Right? But there's another thing that I want to bring out. He said that if you don't keep my commandments, the love of the Father is not within you. Let's get to the book of Leviticus, chapter 19. I want to read from 19 verse 3 to 11. From Leviticus chapter 19 from 11. Now, this is for the Christians also. Right? Again, I'm not targeting the Christian people, but I'm dealing with their elders. Because I want them to get pricked in their heart and come out of the wickedness. And stop teaching our people the lies and read the Bible. Because this is a law. This is a law. Read.
The book of Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 11.
Read.
Ye shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another.
So you shall not deal falsely or lie to one another. That's a commandment, brothers and sisters, right? That's those who are in the truth. No hypocrisy, no lying, no fakeness, without dissimulation. Read.
Verse 12.
All right, read.
And ye shall not swear by my name falsely, neither shalt thou profane the name of the Most High thy power.
So when he shall swear his name falsely, that means you are claiming to be a child of the Most High or you're a child of God, but you're not doing what he says to do. Because when you claim the Most High and you are children of him, you are the representation of him. And by your downfall, people don't want to serve your God. That's one of the definitions. Read.
I am the Lord. Verse 13. Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, neither rob him the wages of him that is hired.
So you see why your pastor don't want to teach the law? Read.
Shall not abide with thee all night until the morning.
Read.
Thou shalt not curse the deaf, nor put stumbling blocks before the blind.
That law done away with. Read.
But shall fear the Most High. I am the Lord.
Read.
Verse 15. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment.
No unrighteousness in judgment. Read.
Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor.
Read.
nor honor the person of the mighty.
Read.
But in righteousness shall thou judge thy neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer.
So listen, you shall not go up and down gossiping people's business and creating confusion. You shall not go up and down as a tale bearer. Read.
Among thy people.
Mm-hmm.
Neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
I am the Most High.
Read.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart.
Uh-huh.
Thou shalt not in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
Read.
And not suffer sin upon him.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge.
Bear any what?
Or bear any grudge
Uh-huh.
against thy children of thy people.
So that's a commandment. Read.
But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Thou shalt what?
But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
So thou shalt not bear any grudge against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not hate. Thou shalt not deal with any grudge and avenge. So grudges is something that we need to acknowledge and need to work on. All right? We need to work on these things and understand that grudges is carry us very far. Right? So brothers and sisters, I want to say a blessed day to each and every one. I want to say all praises to the Most High, Ba'ashem Esharo Wakwadash. Right? We went out of time again. Why they lack love in our communities? It starts with the book. They don't teach the book. They don't bring forth the doctrine of Christ. Right? We need to understand that we have been desensitized through TV. We need to understand that there's a witness chip that has been perfected on the earth with division, with color, with hair, and things of that nature. Right? Again, the solution is in the word. But Kwame, before we go, anything to say?
Yes, just remember to contact us if you need any information via our email account. That's gocctrinidad@gmail.com. We keep the Sabbath. Brothers and sisters, you can contact us at 724-9681. That's 724-9681. Also, Brother Christopher, we received your email and someone will get in contact with you tomorrow, Most High willing. So look out for a call from us tomorrow, Most High willing. We received your email. Again, you can check out our website at gatheringofchristchurch.org. That's gatheringofchristchurch.org if you want to get more information. We are the brothers and sisters of the Gathering of Christ Church. You're locked into Truth Tuesdays. Brothers and sisters, with that we say shalom and have a blessed day.
Shalom to each and every one. All praises to Ahaya, Asha Ahaya, Bahashem Esharo Wakwadash. Shalom Israel.
When I ask why Christ, I say the realest. I push things with my mind, telekinesis. Yeah, the truth cuts like a sword, straight into pieces. Put your life on the line for your brethren. That is the deepest. We call him on your side, so call him Jesus. But he was a Hebrew, so we don't ascribe to that thesis. Lion of Judah, Messiah, prophesied. 144, yeah, they're on the right. Where the luminaries black the sky. Looking in like on a white horse, in all white. If you're written in the book, I like it all right. When we see roads in the shows are all mine. But friends with the light, that is all right. Got my Bible taught, so for the demons, they get shot. Word get wicked, yeah, will crop up. I wanna keep free from all.